Hello, people. It's me again. I have another copy of the PowerPoint presentations that have been used at the federal courts of Puerto Rico and probation. This one is actually, I believe, this one's from probation. I just wanted to point out some inconsistencies and some lies. I haven't read it all thoroughly. I just skipped through all their slides. There's 29 of them. This one's in Spanish, unfortunately, but you can even translate it yourselves if you want, if you don't trust my interpretation. But this here we have slide, I believe it's 11, is it? Is it 11? Yeah, no, this is 11. Okay, this one has to do with harassment of the hanky-panky type. I'm trying not to say the exact words so YouTube won't remove the video or cancel out the words themselves. But it's interesting how I notice here in the first line that harassment is defined as any type of approach of the hanky-panky type that is not desired. You know, the non-desired approach from somebody or offering. You know, if anybody's offering, I guess, to go out on a date or something, or maybe direct, like in my case had happened, like I mentioned before in my previous videos. But it's interesting how here it says, like again, undesired, uninvited, unwelcomed harassment of this type. And yet when I go to 17, when I go to slide 17, it mentions that also any type of this conduct with consent is also inappropriate. They should have kept them both in the same page. In other words, here on 11, because again, this causes confusion. It should have said non-desired and desired. Contributes again to a toxic workplace as harassment, inappropriate behavior, etc. But here it only mentions non-desired or welcomed. Any welcome advances is not accepted at the workplace, of this hanky-panky type. Again, non-welcomed. And yet in the 17, it mentions that even when there's consent, it is also inappropriate. Which, again, I kind of agree with both, to be honest. But the big problem here is, where has HR been all these years? I mean, really, where has HR been all these years? I mean, like I have mentioned before in my previous videos, a lot of people there, with consent have had relationships, extramarital relationships, being unfaithful to husband or wife. And they know this, and they've been knowing this. I mean, I've had conversations with HR through the years. So I see here in this PowerPoint presentation that this is considered inappropriate behavior. It's harassment of the S type, or assault, or whatever you want to call it. It's unacceptable at the workplace. It contributes, like it says here, toxic workplace or work environment. That's what that translated really means. It contributes to a toxic work environment, which, again, one of my videos talked about that. But again, where has HR been all this time? Clearly they put out their rules, but there's no accountability. There's no, there's no enforcement of these rules. And guess what? Even managers and judges have played this game. So, of what use how useful is these trainings if you're not going to enforce it? And again, I just don't want to sound like I'm losing my mind, but I sometimes feel I am. Because I've only, again, based on my experience, it only seems like they use these policies when it's convenient. when they just want to get rid of somebody. Any type of policy. That's what it seems like to me. Because again, all these years, like I've mentioned in other videos, I've gone to HR, I've gone to Evelyn, and I've told her many times what a lot of the girls there did to me. And all you hear is crickets. And like I mentioned before, I told the same thing to Yarisis before, like a month before or weeks before I got removed. Same thing. No results. So why do we why do we lie? Again, this is another lie. Maybe a fourth lie. From the so many other lies that I found. Again, the more I investigate and brainstorm and recall the realities based on their own information. This is their PowerPoint, just like the other two PowerPoints as before. This is their stuff. But they only use it when it's convenient, when they want to target somebody. Because they've overlooked these policies for years. I know that as a fact. So again, I see here a great and horrendous injustice. Here. There's no consistency, like I've mentioned before, no moral consistency. So again, policies and canons and rules and whatever they want to call them, they're only there when they need to get someone they probably just don't like anymore, or never liked, or just gave them a look that they didn't like, and that's it. Okay, let's find a reason to get rid of this person, because we have plenty of reasons. Yeah, there's plenty of reasons of this type and others. Like I said, in my case, it was misuse of my phone, because I did make harsh comments again of others, and there's a policy against using the work phone to I guess to talk negative things, which I don't consider them negative if they're true. Honestly, if they're true. If these women are she-devils, that's what they are. But I guess, like I mentioned before, I guess the truth, the spoken truth, language and speech is more dangerous than the reality that I described to them. Well, actually, not to them, to the other person on the other side of the phone. But now to them, because, they found these on Mr. Lopez's phone. But the point is, again, where have they been all these years? And it's weird because, look, it mentions here that a hostile work environment of the hanky-panky type is hostile even to third-party individuals that have nothing to do with the hanky-panky. So if, for example, if I, the IT guy, Jose, if I see a couple over there, touchy, giving themselves that, the hanky-panky look, the flirtatious look, like the other video about the mammals, the normal behavior, because technically that is normal. But okay, if we're truly against that, where has HR been? And it mentions here that even third-party individuals, it becomes hostile for them, even though they're not involved. And it mentions here, even if they're not even addressed or offered anything. So I could just be seeing something, and they're not talking to me. They're not inviting me into their little, hanky-panky. I'm just somebody in the distance that they probably don't even see or know that I'm there. Well, to them, it mentions here in the fourth one, on the last one, that also contributes a hostile or toxic workplace when that behavior exists. Yet, all those years I reported this. Again, it becomes frustrating. It really does become frustrating because for years I reported many of the things you guys saw in the videos, and they did nothing. And not only in probation, even in U.S. District downstairs, when, again, during the investigation of Little Vicky or Veronica, they didn't care what I mentioned about Judge Morgan. They didn't care about what I mentioned about what she did to me behind courtroom 2. Oh, and by the way, let me not forget. Let me go to this one that I showed the other day. If you see something, you're supposed to report it. Well, that's what I did. Again, that's what I did for years. Things that happened to me, and even to others. Look, Judge Besosa, for example, I've seen him twice looking at his law clerks inappropriately. If he's talking to them and they turn around and walk away, I saw his eye contact drop to their tushies, to their behinds. Honestly, I never reported that particular event to HR, to any other two, but I'm reporting it now because this is what this PowerPoint says I should be doing. But since I'm not working there anymore, I'm going to do it through this means. So, again, what are you guys going to do now with Judge Besosa? You're not going to do anything. Again, you're not going to do anything. Because you only use these PowerPoints to, I guess, wash your hands or, cover your behinds, HR, and only use it when you just want to target somebody. But again, and I'll say it again, and I know it sounds cruel, but I swear it on my children's lives. That's what Besosa, twice I've seen him do that on 2 different occasions. And then, hey, I'm reporting it now because this is what the PowerPoint says that should be done. And as a civilian, I kind of demand, again, a true investigation here. Look, you can put me on a polygraph test and I'll pass it. I want you to put also Besosa in a polygraph test and all the other peoples that I mentioned, including human resources, to see what's really up with them, with their incompetence, with their gross incompetence. So again, this is my investigation. These are my findings based on my recollection. Now I'm basing it off their own policies and their own PowerPoint presentations, of which, again, they lie. Because, again, 17, even when there's consent, that conduct is inappropriate. This is in Spanish, remember. Even when there's consent between 2 people, it's inappropriate. Yet, human resources does nothing when people hook up left and right, and they've done it. They've done it through the years. Hey, and this includes the big guys up in probation too. The guys that hired HR. So, like I mentioned in one video that I removed, HR, you guys need to start, investigations with those that actually hired you. Start there. Start at the top. Don't start at the bottom. And I know you're not going to go to the top. I know you're not going to do this. Because you guys are hypocrites. That's why I know it. You guys are hypocrites. U.S. District Court of Puerto Rico and probation, you guys in human resources, you guys are pure hypocrites. And you know it. And it's sad. It's sad, again, that in my case, private comments from one person to another, that's enough to get me out. But people are eating themselves into pieces, even with consent, and they are still there, and they become supervisors, and they are a good example for society. They're a good example for the rest of us that don't work for the federal system, or don't work for the federal system anymore. And I've always noticed that, again, men tend to get the short end of the stick. This is something serious. This is something very serious. They don't even follow their own rules. But pretending, like I've mentioned before, pretending is enough for them, I guess. They get paid good salaries to pretend that they're doing a good job. But HR are all failures. They're failures. And they know it deep down inside. They know all this reality down deep inside. And it's sad. If any of these videos ever go viral, I don't care to show my face. I don't care if they even, unseal whatever was used against me, at my appeal. I don't care. I really don't care. I care for the truth to come out. The entire truth, not bits and pieces. Even if it makes me look bad, I don't care. You know why? Because there's so much worse on their end than on mine. So much more. So again, these are their PowerPoints. I'm not going to say how who gave them to me or how I acquired them. But guess what? I'm going to continue to look through these PowerPoint presentations. And if I find something interesting, I'm going to keep posting videos. Because this is truly disgusting. I think you guys fired the wrong person. Seriously, I think you guys fired the wrong person. Because my mind just continues to recall things. And I'm getting easier access to the evils of that place. You guys better hope the public does not become too aware of this, especially the Puerto Rican public. Or you might have something like Rosselló. A big group of people outside wanting the federales to leave or to answer questions. Like, wait a minute, is this person what? They forgot their gun twice? Really? And all they got is what? Just a suspension? People could have died. They're going to question things like, again, conflict of interest, like that between Aida Delgado and Antio Giorgi. Again, in the name of DEI, really? Well, they could have hired somebody else. Not your partner, not your close friend. What if the public started questioning these things? And all the other things, all the other hanky-panky, potential, again, what Gladys, I, and Mr. Lopez talked at one point in one meeting. Potential hanky-panky in government vehicles? Really? Those same vehicles that are tax-funded by the American people? You guys seriously need to analyze yourselves and analyze these realities. You guys, in my mind, are pure pigs. Really, pure, disgusting pigs. Making a big deal out of simple comments. But all these disgusting, bigger things, oh no, we have to... It's a cover-up, come on. This is a cover-up. You can't tell me that is acceptable. The thing is, you don't investigate it because it'll make you look bad. That's the reason why you don't really want to investigate these things. Because it'll actually make you guys look horrible. Because you guys are horrible. Once again, it's me, Jose, the former IT guy from U.S. District Court and Probation, doing my own truly independent investigation. And I'm investigating as much as I can. I'm actually holding back, believe it or not. Like I said, I have pictures of some of the females that send me things. And I remember one of these PowerPoint presentations also mentioned that. Inappropriate texts, inappropriate pictures, etc. Also remembering that I mentioned to them, even the judges, through email, having women show me porn at the workplace on their work phones. They didn't care. They don't care. I don't want to sound like Michael Jackson, but when he was saying they don't really care about us, when it comes to, I guess, the common folk. Well, they don't care. Federales don't care. They don't care. All they care about is their career and their well-paying jobs. And to target somebody when it's convenient to do so. But again, I don't want anybody to get hurt or get terminated or fired because of me. I just want consistency in your morality, in your so-called morality, because really it's a bigotry what you guys have done. It really is. It really is. Well, till next time.